I found something buried inside the Gnostic texts, something that Mary Magdalene carried, that completely changed the way I understand why cats choose certain people. These texts were hidden from the world for nearly 2,000 years, and inside them is a truth about certain human souls that was considered too dangerous to survive. A truth about why some people carry a frequency so ancient, so original, so unmistakably divine, that even animals feel it before a single word is spoken. The ancient initiates had a name for this frequency. They called it the monad, the first light, the original signal, and Mary knew exactly which souls still carried it. And of all the creatures on this earth, it is the cat that has never forgotten how to find it. What if the cat that keeps staring at you is not just staring? What if the cat that follows you room to room, that appeared at your door one day and never left, that crosses a room full of people and chooses your lap without hesitation, is responding to something inside you that you yourself have forgotten you carry? I need you to stop for a moment, because what I am about to share with you was not meant for everyone. It was passed down in secret, preserved in texts that empire after empire tried to destroy. And at the center of all of it was Mary. She understood something about the human soul that the world was never supposed to know. She understood why certain people are chosen, not by other people, not by circumstance, but by creatures who cannot lie, who see past the face you show the world and directly into what you actually are. If a cat has ever chosen you, and you felt something strange in that moment, something that felt almost like recognition, you need to watch every single second of this. Because this is not a video about cats. This is a video about you, and what you are carrying inside you without even knowing it. Right now, before we go any further, I want you to write one word in the comments. Just one word. Chosen. If a cat has chosen you in your life, that single word is the beginning of remembering what you are. Long before modern science tried to explain animal behavior with cold, clinical language, ancient civilizations understood something far more profound. They understood that cats do not live fully in the physical world. In the temples of ancient Egypt, cats were not worshipped out of superstition. The priests and initiates of those sacred spaces understood that the cat existed on a threshold. One paw in the visible world, one paw in the invisible. They could perceive what human eyes could not. They could sit perfectly still in an empty room and track something moving through the air that no one else could see. And the ancients did not call this strange. They called it sight. Now here is where it gets profound. Mary moved through a world that still carried remnants of this ancient understanding. The land she walked, the circles she moved in, the hidden mystery traditions that existed quietly beneath the surface of the dominant religious structures of her time, all of them held a unified belief that the physical world is only a thin layer, that beneath it, around it, woven through every living thing, is an energetic reality that most humans have been conditioned to ignore. And within that energetic reality, cats are not passengers. They are navigators. They feel what is happening beneath the surface of a person. The grief someone is carrying but not speaking. The light someone has but is suppressing. The frequency a soul is quietly emitting, even when that person has no idea they are emitting anything at all. This is not mythology. This is the oldest form of knowledge there is, and Mary knew it intimately. In the recovered Gnostic texts, manuscripts that were hidden from the world for nearly 2,000 years, buried in the earth as if the earth itself was protecting them, there are fragments of Mary's actual voice, her actual teachings, and what she returned to again and again was not ritual, not rules, not religious performance. It was the soul, its layers, its origin, and most importantly, its frequency, because Mary understood something that was considered dangerous enough to erase from history. She understood that not all souls are in the same place. Not morally, not in terms of worth, but in terms of wakefulness, in terms of how much of their original divine signal they still carry. And the Gnostic tradition she moved within had a precise way of describing this. They divided human souls into 3 categories, 3 types. And once you hear this, once you truly understand it, you will never look at yourself or the people around you the same way again. And this is precisely why a cat has never chosen just anyone. The first type they called the Hylic. The word itself comes from the Greek hyle, meaning matter, raw material, earth. The Hylic soul is one that has become so fully absorbed into the material world that it has lost almost all contact with its interior life. It lives entirely on the surface, driven by appetite, distraction, consumption, the endless noise of the external world. This is not a judgment. It is a condition. a condition that the world has been carefully designed to produce. The Hylic soul is not broken. It is simply asleep. Deeply, completely asleep. And here is something I want you to notice. Cats do not choose these people. They may be perfectly kind, perfectly good, but there is no signal coming through. Nothing for the cat to find. Nothing that calls to the part of the cat that lives beyond the physical. The second type they called the psychic. Not in the modern, commercialized sense of the word. In the original Gnostic sense, psyche meaning soul. The psychic soul is partially awake. It feels something. It reaches towards something it cannot fully name. It has moments of profound intuition, of inexplicable knowing, of grief that seems too large for a single lifetime. The psychic soul is searching. It senses there is more, but has not yet broken through the final membrane between seeking and knowing. Cats sometimes approach these souls. Sit near them. Watch them with curiosity. But the bond is not complete, because the signal is still flickering, still inconsistent, still interrupted by doubt and the pull of the surface world. And then there is the third type, the one I believe you are, the one that brought you to this video without you fully being able to explain why. They called it the Pneumatic, from the Greek pneuma, meaning breath, spirit, wind, the original breath of the divine that was present at the very beginning of everything. The pneumatic soul is one that never fully lost its connection to its source. No matter what it went through, no matter how much this life tried to bury it, silence it, wear it down, something inside the pneumatic soul remained untouched, undiminished, still vibrating at its original frequency. These are the people who feel too much and have been told that is a flaw. These are the people who see through surfaces instinctively and have been told that is arrogance. These are the people who carry a weight that belongs to something older than their current life and have spent years wondering why they feel so different from the people around them. Mary knew these souls on sight. She moved toward them the way light moves through water, naturally, inevitably, without effort, because she herself carried what they carried. And she spent her life trying to help them remember what that was. And what was it? The ancient Gnostic initiates, those who preserved this knowledge in secret, who passed it in whispers through mystery schools that existed in the shadows of empire, had a name for the original frequency the pneumatic soul carries. They called it the monad, the first light, the singular divine source from which all consciousness originally emerged. Before fragmentation, before forgetting, before the long, slow dimming that the material world produces in most souls over time. The monad is not something you acquire. It is not something you earn through spiritual practice or correct belief. It is something you either still carry or have lost contact with. And the pneumatic soul, by its very nature, never fully releases it. It is embedded in the deepest interior layer of who you are, beneath your personality, beneath your history, beneath everything that this life has built up around you. It is the part of you that existed before you had a name. And here is where Mary's teaching becomes something I find almost unbearably profound, and something I have come to believe completely through everything I have studied and felt and understood. Cats feel the monad frequency. Not as a concept, not symbolically, as a literal, perceivable signal that the pneumatic soul emits without knowing it. The warmth that draws a cat across a room full of people directly to you. The stillness that makes a cat settle on your chest and exhale as if it has finally arrived somewhere safe. The locked gaze that lasts too long and communicates something that has no words. That is not random animal behavior. That is a pneumatic soul being recognized by a creature that has never forgotten how to see. If a cat has chosen you, and something in what I just said landed in a place deeper than your thoughts, then you already know what you are. You carry the monad frequency. Mary would have known it the moment she looked at you, and the cat in your life has known it all along. Let me give you the 4 signs that a cat has truly chosen you. Not the surface level signs, the real ones. The ones that point to something happening at a level far beneath ordinary explanation. Sign 1. The cat appeared at a threshold moment. Think back to when the cat in your life first came to you. I want you to really think about this. Was it during a period of change? A transition? A time when something in your life was ending or beginning? When you were grieving, healing, awakening, or quietly falling apart? This is not coincidence. Mary's teachings speak of the soul sending out its most concentrated signal during moments of rupture and transformation. When the surface of a person cracks open, even slightly, what's inside begins to radiate outward with greater intensity. Cats feel that radiation. They're drawn to it the way light is drawn through an opening. The threshold moment was not just a moment in your external life. It was a moment your soul became briefly, brilliantly visible. Sign 2. The cat chooses you over others in the room. You've seen this. Everyone else is reaching for the cat, calling it, trying to earn its attention. And the cat walks past all of them, directly to you, settles on you as if there was never any other option. What is it sensing? I'll tell you exactly what I believe it's sensing. It's sensing coherence. When a person carries the monad frequency, that original divine resonance Mary spoke of, there is a quality of stillness within them even when the outside is busy or loud. Cats are extraordinarily sensitive to inner coherence. The soul that is aligned, even partially, even unconsciously, emits a different quality of signal than one that is fragmented. The cat isn't choosing your physical warmth. It's choosing your inner stillness, your soul's coherence. It recognizes it because that same quality exists within the cat itself. Sign 3. The cat stares into your eyes without looking away. Most animals avoid prolonged direct eye contact. It is in their instinct to read it as a threat, but you have experienced a cat holding your gaze, staring into your eyes with an intensity that felt almost unbearably intimate, like something was being communicated that had no words. In the ancient mystery schools, the eyes were called the windows of the soul's frequency. Not metaphorically, literally. The eyes emit a measurable energetic signal that corresponds to the soul's current vibrational state. When a cat locks eyes with you and does not look away, it is reading you. It is confirming what it already sensed. It is essentially saying, yes, I see what you are, and it is choosing to let you see that it sees. Mary understood this exchange. She spoke of recognition as one of the highest spiritual acts, the moment one soul correctly identifies the light in another. When a cat holds your gaze, you are being recognized. Sign 4. You feel calmer, heavier, more yourself when the cat is near. Not just relaxed, something deeper, like a part of you that is usually guarded or performing or managing exhales, like you are allowed, in that animal's presence, to simply exist without justification. This is the sign I find most profound, because what you're feeling in those moments is energetic resonance. The cat's frequency and your frequency are harmonizing, two instruments sounding the same note. When souls of similar vibrational origin come into proximity, there is a natural settling, a coming home. Mary described this in her teachings as the soul recognizing its own quality in another form. The peace you feel is not the cat calming you down. The peace you feel is you remembering who you actually are. But the signs are only the surface. Beyond the signs, there is a question that I think you have quietly been carrying. What exactly does the cat see when it looks at you? Mary left traces of this answer in her teachings. The cat is sensing your unawakened gifts, the spiritual capacities you carry that have not yet fully come online. Suppressed intuition, untransmitted healing ability, a depth of perception that you have learned to minimize because the world around you did not know what to do with it. The Gospel of Mary, the actual recovered text, fragments of which survived despite every effort to erase her voice from history, speaks of the soul possessing layers. The outermost layers interact with the physical world, but the innermost layer, the deepest layer, still vibrates at its original frequency, still carries the monad signal, still remembers what it is. Most humans live entirely in the outer layers. They never go inward far enough to touch the original frequency. But some people, and I believe you are one of them, have an interior life that is naturally deeper than average. You feel things others don't feel. You notice things others walk past. You carry a weight sometimes that has no name, because it does not belong to this life alone. The cat is sensing that depth, that original interior light. It is not drawn to your personality or your appearance or your status. It is drawn to your soul's signature, the frequency of a being that still carries something ancient and undiminished. And that, in my view, is one of the most quietly extraordinary things that can happen to a person. To be seen, truly seen, not by another human with all their projections and agendas, but by a creature that has no capacity for flattery. Only perception. Mary was not naive, and neither am I. She knew, and I believe this with complete conviction, that the frequency cats are drawn to is rare. Not because some people are more valuable than others as human beings, but because the monad signal, that original divine frequency, has been dimmed in most people. Not through any fault of their own, but through generations of systems designed to keep people distracted, afraid, consuming, performing, never going inward, never going deep enough to touch what they actually are. The ancient ones called it the great forgetting, and the majority of souls walking this earth right now are living inside that forgetting. Their signal is buried under layers of noise they didn't choose and weren't warned about. This is why cats do not choose everyone. This is why the choosing feels significant when it happens. Because it is. If you have been chosen, if a cat has found you, followed you, fixed its gaze on you, settled its weight on you with complete trust, understand what that means at the level Mary understood it. You have not been chosen despite what you are. You have been chosen because of it. Because something in you is still awake, still carrying the original light, still emitting the frequency that the most perceptive creatures on this earth are drawn to without being able to explain why. You are still carrying the signal, in a world that has done everything it can to extinguish it. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Now write, "I am Pneumatic" in the comments. Own it, because you have spent long enough not knowing what to call what you carry. And like this video and subscribe. There is so much more that was never meant to be forgotten. Mary spent her life trying to help people remember what they were, not what they were told they were, not what the structures of power needed them to believe they were, but what they actually originally, irreducibly are. She understood that the greatest spiritual act is not grand or performative. It is the quiet, devastating act of remembering, coming back to the original signal, recognizing the frequency inside yourself that has been there since before this life began. And I genuinely think, that sometimes the universe uses the most unexpected messengers to help a soul remember. A word that arrives at the right moment, a dream that cracks something open, a small animal that walks into your life, settles beside you, and looks at you with eyes that say, "I know what you are." Even if you have forgotten, if you have a cat in your life, look at it differently from this moment forward. It did not come to you randomly. It did not stay because of food or warmth alone. It stayed because it found in you something it recognized. Something ancient, something lit, something worth staying close to. Mary saw people the way cats see people, past the surface, past the performance, into the original light. And I believe she would want you to know, the fact that you were drawn to this, that you watched until the very end, that something in this resonated in a place words don't normally reach. That is your own soul confirming what the cat already knows. You are not ordinary. You never were. And on some level, you have always known that too.